Welcome back to Cure for the Common Game. Today we've got another mono black deck. Miss Phage the Untouchable. She is actually a product I'm not exactly quite sure. I believe it's the whole thing there with Corona and Acroma and Jessica, all that kind of, I don't know. I get confused. Anyway, Phage is everybody's favorite minion. And the idea here is, well, first off, she lives in the command zone. Therefore, if you cast her from the command zone, you will lose the game. Now, the wording of Phage here is very important. She does not have Death Touch. It is not worded as Death Touch because Death Touch is any damage is lethal. With her, it is just combat damage. So it does work a little differently. Most importantly, it's the interaction with Trample. Now, obviously, the idea here is to get her into play. You have to cast her from your hand if you don't want to lose. Or, there's other ways around it. And to, punch people in the face with her and just make them lose the game. So, first and foremost, let's not die to our own card. I think what I want to do here for this one is I want to keep Phage in the picture. So I think I'm going to, just pop other cards in here. So, how are we not losing? Well, we have our expedition map. This is not really working that well, is it? Phage may have to take a secondary spot there. It's like they just won't get close enough. Let me grab a stack of islands here and prop up underneath this joker, because apparently I'm not going to use a lot of basic islands, which is weird because... Anyway, we have our expedition map to go find the command beacon. Now, this was the card that actually, the very first one, when I read this, I thought Phage, and I thought, hey, I could not die to Phage, because I got to build Phage. So, also, other things, I mean, the obvious choice is the Platinum Angel. As long as you have the Platinum Angel, you have to be very careful, though, because in response to you casting Phage from the command zone, if you've got the Platinum Angel, they can always shoot your angel, and then you just lose. You can also, the Sundial of the Infinite. Now, she enters the battlefield. So you cast her, she enters the battlefield, and then you end the turn. All spells and abilities get exiled on the stack. You don't lose, but, it is totally the end of your turn. So you're not giving her haste and swinging with her or whatever. You're just, hey, I have a Phage. But Sundial is a good recursive ability for this if somebody does not get rid of it. Although with Phage in your command zone and when you play Sundial, it definitely has a target. It's getting shot. Torpor Orb. Also, it will, cause her ability not to trigger. It is, in fact, a triggered ability because it uses Wind. That is why it is also not Death Touch. It is a triggered ability because, this chick uses Wind 3 times. Wind, whenever. It's almost like Shakira. Anyway, but we got a caster. Now, do have a little bit of ramp. It's not, crazy ramp. I'm crutching on this Burnished Heart hard on a lot of decks, man. But this does not have a way, obviously there's no white for the Sun Titan to keep getting this Joker back and abusing it, but that really works well with Sun Titan and, to power out Ymir and things like that. But this ain't that deck. Of course, we have our Soul Ring, Charcoal Diamond, Thought Vessel, Mind Stone, Palladium Mirror. we're hurting here for mana ramp, okay? And magnifying glass. Now, I kind of like the magnifying glass in and of itself. Yeah, it's 3 for 1, which is not, apparently that's all we're going to get now. But 4 to investigate, meh. If you got nothing else, EOT, sure, why not? Now, all that being said, the direction that I took, well, first we're going to show this particular creature because, you know, we are playing mono black, and he is the only creature in the deck that does not meet a certain requirement. She has Pseudo Death Touch. Okay, I mean, it's pretty close. So, what I decided to do with the creatures of the deck is go, I hate to use the word tribal, but tribal Death Touch, if you will. Now, a Death Touch creature does kind of stall the board. How many times have you been like behind the 8 ball and seen a Vampire Nighthawk just run away with the game, or just stall it out until they can find a kill spell? So it does have flying, it does have Death Touch. To put exactly how good this card is in perspective, 3 mana, 2/3 flying, Death Touch, lifelink. 4 mana, 2/2 flying, Death Touch. I mean, it's got less abilities, less toughness, and 1 more mana. And this is not bad. I mean, it's not great. Yeah, it is a Death Touching flyer, which will impact your combat. It will keep you safe. A lot of these Death Touch creatures are there pretty much to stall the board until you can get down to business with your girl here. So that's what a lot of these do. Now, by the way, this guy's nuts. I don't know if anybody's like rocking this besides me, but it's a Vampire Nighthawk without flying. Wow. I mean, for 2 mana. This is a pretty good upgrade to the old Black Knight. I mean, Pro White is very good, but so is Death Touch, you know. We got Gonti that, you know, digs a little bit. Death Touch. So, now, Death Touch. How do you abuse Death Touch? That's right, Trample. Trample and Death Touch are the most beautiful abilities. But note that Trample does not interact with Phage's second ability because it is not Death Touch. To clarify, Trample and Death Touch, if a 2/2 trampling Death Toucher attacks and a 10/10 creature blocks, Trample says you must assign lethal damage to the blocker. Now, all damage is lethal from a Death Touch creature, so you can actually assign 1 point of damage to defending creature and the rest trample over to the player. It's kind of not intuitive. It's kind of cool. It's one of the few rules left that when you have to explain it in mid-game, you actually kind of feel bad because it seems kind of wonky. But it is what it is. That's the way it works. Anyway, Phage does not work that way. Because it is not keyworded Death Touch, it is a triggered ability. How it works is she has to assign the full toughness worth of damage. Now, if we could give her Death Touch, that'd be fine. I didn't put any cards in the deck to grant Death Touch because, you know, everything already has it. So, thought about the archetype. Just, I don't know, I couldn't justify it, I guess. Might be good. It would interact with her with the, you know, trample Death Touch thing, because that way it doesn't matter how big the blocker is, she can trample over and still do the kill. And I think I just talked myself into that card. Yeah. Anyway, so let's grant some trample. Now, obviously, we want to grant trample through way of equipment, because when the creature dies, the equipment is still left. Now, the trampling Death Touch on the other guys, pretty good. So we got some trample. Now, Loxodon Warhammers are all in use. You will not see a Loxodon Warhammer yet, but it steadily will come. Now, a few of these are like, because all creatures able to block do. This way, you can throw your Nemesis Mask on one of your other creatures, swing with that creature and Phage. She's getting through. I know this may sound weird, but the Kite Sail, because you know what? Give her flying. It increases the likelihood that she won't be blocked. But I mean, if you really don't want her blocked, you just throw a cloak on her, and she'll have Shroud too, and then you just decide, who you don't like the most. Lightning Greaves, of course, is the other protection card. Lash Wrath is just going to make whatever you put it on big. And now we're getting fuzzy because I have two different depths here. So I can clean one up at the expense of the other. Okay. Now, here, let's move this out. That's getting way too close to the camera. Okay. I do have some spot removal because we need to eliminate those pesky creatures that just happen to be up in the way. So, spot removal is what we got. Tendrils really love the Tendrils because it is spot removal and it's life gain, and I mean, more than likely a ton of it. Now, let's see here. I have a tutor because, it seems like a good card, and I would love to have, like, all the tutors up in here, but it is what it is. Now, Endless Whispers is an enchantment that really, this could almost be an instant win. Now, every creature has, I don't care about all the other creatures, I care about Phage. Phage has, when Phage is put into a graveyard from play, choose target opponent, that player puts this creature card from that graveyard into play. So, if Phage dies, more than likely whoever killed Phage, I'm going to give Phage to. And I love the wording because it says that player puts this creature card from that graveyard into play. So it comes into play from the graveyard. They didn't cast it. They just lose. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that Commander rules state that she will go... She'll be exiled, and you have the option to put her back in the command zone. So you've still got to get her from the command zone back to your hand and in play. Hopefully, you've got some of that recursive stuff, and your general won't just sit dead in the command zone forever. But hey, if it gets to be a long game, you can just cast it and bow out of that game. But let's see. Mono black, so I am playing a lot of the mono black cards. The Mutilate, the Mind Sludge, Corrupt. Do have some card draw. Not much. I mean, Night's Whisper and Sound and Blood. That's right. That's right. Mom uses Sound and Blood. I've told y'all that story. But conditional kind of board wipes. Infest. Perish, because sometimes them elves get out of hand. And from what it looks like, if you wipe out all green creatures, that's just about going to be an ELE for the dinosaurs. So, kind of liking that. Bringing things back from the dead in the form of Rise from the Grave and Animate Dead. Now, Ether Snap is Wrath of Walkers. So, I mean, it's all good. I love this card. Exsanguinate is everybody's favorite just kill spell. That's essentially what it is. I mean, people, you just late game, dump enough mana, whatever. I am trying out the Deadly Designs. It does only pop 2 creatures, but now they're 2 creatures of your choice, even though anybody can put counters on it. So if this is like all those conspiracy cards, this is a very, very political card. I'm going to see how it does. Deadly Tempest. Now, this punishes those I make infinite creatures guys, or arbitrarily large amount of creatures. And then, last but not least, we have good old-fashioned Gloom. Now, Gloom, it's wide. Heck, nowadays is one of the more controlly colors that there are. Oh, also, we're gonna get into a little bit of land here. There's this Rogue's Passage, of course. Y'all know I do the Rogue's Passage bit quite a bit, 500 times at least. Anyway, that's what I've got for Phage. I do appreciate y'all watching. I'll try to do something besides mono black next. Yeah. I think this is 2 or 3 mono black decks in a row. Anyway, I appreciate you watching. Y'all let me know what you think. But right now, we're going to shuffle and cut.